Right, I picked up this little Kubota B7100 a few months ago. It's got a blade on the front. It's been used for pushing heavy loads, obviously. It's had quite a rough life, and I think there's some bearings on the way out in the gearbox and possibly gears as well. So I'm going to strip it down today and see what needs replacing, whether it's worth buying parts for or looking for one of these with a blow-in engine that I can swap over parts. So I'll strip it down and see what's going on in the gearbox and figure out where to go from there. Take that up somewhere. There for now. There's a gauze filter in that one. Yeah. Right, we're getting there. That's most things off, so just got to remove this dozer frame here, which runs from the front all the way to the back. But I noticed there's 2 bolts missing, so all the stress has been going on the front end. Possibly that broke off. I guess I'll find out when I pull that back. The other side bolts look intact there, so I'm just going to take those off. Little trick, if you need a bit of extra leverage, just put a bigger spanner over the smaller one. Right, I've got to punch out that roll pin up there, but it is quite hard to access. I can't get anything onto it. I got that one out up there in the drive shaft, and that's coming off, but I think I'm going to have to release the drive shaft from up here to give me enough room to pull it back so I can get a good swing at that roll pin. Got it. Alright, that's the pin out of there. Should slide off now. There we go. So that looks alright. There's no real play there. That's quite solid. And the universal is good. There's no play in that. That's good. So that we can reuse that. And there's quite a bit of backlash there as well. We'll come back to that anyway. Should be able to pop that roll pin out of there now. Yeah, that's pretty sloppy, so that CV is going to need replacing. Got it. Alright, that's the roll pin. That's what was holding it on, so that should come out now. It's got it. Right. There's the front wheel drive shaft. It's definitely worn there. You can see a bit of... Oh yeah, there's a chip on that tooth. So I'm going to have to replace that gear. And the mating one to that probably. It's quite hard to spot down there, but when I turn that PTO shaft, you can see that gear at the bottom there is chewed up as well. So that's going to have to be replaced. Right there. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Get that to engage. I don't know about that front one. Yeah, it's going to turn into a bit of a major, I think, but anyway. Oh. No springs coming out of there. Alright, that's the control valve. There's a bit of a mess. That's all looking pretty good. The bearings are okay, and yeah, the gears look in good shape, so I won't touch this rear end just yet. Yeah, there's the lift cover. It is actually quite dirty in there and a bit rusty. You can see there's been a bit of rubbish leaking in from that side. I think the only way it can get in there is through here. Yeah, both ends, so the seals are gone. There should be some seals in there, one on each side. So I'll replace those as well, pull these off and replace them. There's a piston in there. Hydraulic fluid comes in here and pushes the piston and that rod, which actually goes into there, and that lifts the rear lift arms. But yeah, it's a bit messy in there. Looks like we've got these bolts around the outside. 9 and 2 on the inside there. You can hear in that gear it's quite noisy. I think that was the noise I was hearing as well. That one's not so bad. Just a little ball bearing that goes in there, can't lose that. Those ones seem okay. All those gears look pretty good. That gear doesn't look too bad. And that bearing's good. So that all seems okay. No movement in there. Yeah, there it is. Ball bearing and a spring in there as well. Don't want to lose that. Now that slides off. Nothing wrong with that one. That's all good. So that's the one causing the problems. See a piece is chipped off the edge there. So I need that one. Spacer. I think the rest of these are alright. And that one looks like it protrudes this side slightly more towards the back. So remember that one goes that way with the mark towards the front. There's a little mark there. So those bearings are still okay. That bearing feels like it might have some pitting in it. That's the one on the shaft where the gear has been damaged, so that may have damaged the bearing as well. So I'll get another one of those. I think that one could cause problems if we leave it in there. 6302. Shim that comes out of there as well. Right, So there's no ring on the end of that shaft. I'll have to replace that. That looks okay. There's a ball bearing somewhere. Where's that gone? That bearing is feeling a bit rough as well. It's a little bit bumpy, so I might have to replace that. Right, now I've got to try and get that bearing off the end, but there's some rust on the end of the shaft, so I'll sand that off first. Otherwise the bearing will get jammed, I think. Okay, that should come off now, hopefully. Not too bad. Polar. That gear looks okay, no damage on that one. That's the other one I need. That's chewed up quite badly. You can see some of those teeth are actually bent. I think it's had a piece of metal in there and it's just been like chewing it up. So I'll replace that one and the other broken one and a few of those bearings and hopefully that'll be good. Alright, those gears look okay. They're not damaged at all. All the bearings on that shaft are good, so I'll leave that alone. And you can see there's a lot of little bits of metal and chewed up gears in there, so I'll give that a good clean out. The mason bees have been making nests in there. That bearing is a bit worn out as well, so I'll try and get that out. That one needs replacing as well. That's catching. That one's pretty rough. Grab another one of those. 6203. So I've got quite a few bearings and seals to get. I mean, I probably could get away with just putting these bearings back in, but I think it's going to be a lot smoother if I replace them, because some of them are quite pitted and worn out. Alright, so I'll go and order some parts.